Airbnb on track to welcome its 2 billionth guest. The accommodations firm announced the milestone in its annual winter report, along with the top travel trends of the season. These were the world's most searched for destinations in the third quarter, Brazil and Spain coming out on top, accounting for 7 of the top 10 cities. Australia, Mexico and the United Kingdom also hitting that map. As you can see, Jay Carney is the Global Head of Policy and Communications at Airbnb, and he joins us now from Washington. Jay, fantastic to have you on the show. I love these reports that you do and these surveys, not only to find out where people want to go, but also what hosts are thinking. And the message seems to be that Airbnb hosts would monetize their homes better if they had sort of more help, and you're working on expanding operations for co-hosts. Explain what that means and what impact you expect it to have on your business.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And yes, we have our new winter release, and the co-host network is the feature of this release. And what it is a network of 10,000 co-hosts, hosts who are very highly rated, very experienced, whom a new host or an existing host can tap for help in managing their property. What we've heard from existing hosts is that many of them would increase the number of nights they make their property available if they could get help hosting. It is, whether it's because they need to be in town, or rather they need to travel and they can't be in town all the time, or some of the sort of more administrative aspects of being a host, managing a property. They need help. And what we have done with this co-host network is created a way for either existing hosts or new hosts who are worried about whether they have the time or the wherewithal to be hosts to get help very easily. They input what they're looking for. The app provides a list of recommended co-hosts that fit what they're looking for, including their location, and then they go straight to the person they're interested in having help them and negotiate terms. We don't take a cut, but what happens is we think we'll grow our supply, more hosts will offer more nights, and then we'll add hosts to our business, which is just good for guests who want to go to all of these great places around the world.
Yeah, and I read that you don't take a cut of this either. This is about you helping them to help you, and it's all reinforcing. One of the other things that stood out to me very quickly, Jay, is that over a third of Airbnb hosts say that actually they use the money that they get from this to simply pay their bills and make ends meet. Just at a point where we are very sensitive 3 weeks out from an election on affordability, I think, and the economy. How have you seen that evolved, and how sensitive are people today to that?
Well, what we're seeing reflects what we're hearing from our hosts, which is, it's important we think, for everybody, but especially policymakers, to remember that Airbnb in their city or their town, their community, is represented by their constituents, their property owners, people who live there, vote there, and are trying to get by and make ends meet in those towns. So they aren't outside companies or hotel chains. They're individuals living in these communities who are leveraging their largest asset often, which is their home, to make some extra money. And they're often, what they're telling us, they're often using that extra money to be able to afford their mortgage, to be able to stay in their home, especially as costs rise. So we think that's an incredibly important point and a compelling argument. We've seen this in cities around the world where hosts tell us that they're worried about, for example, regulation that might make it harder for them to be hosts, and what that would mean for their income and their ability to stay in their home. So we believe very strongly that allowing property owners to become hosts on Airbnb is a way to help with the affordable housing challenge that so many cities have.
Yeah, I mean, you're caught at the intersection of that, whether you like it or not, as a provider of short-term housing or medium-term housing, depending on where you go. And in certain cities, New York's a great example. There have been limits on what Airbnb hosts can provide because you've being accused of contributing to the affordability sort of crisis, or the housing crisis in some of these cities. And you can, push back at will, and I know you have. I just wonder what you think of the Harris campaign's plan to tackle housing affordability, obviously the provision of money and handouts for first-time buyers or building more homes. What impact for you guys?
Well, I think, I personally have heard what Vice President Harris has said and her campaign has said about how they would tackle this problem. And I think it sounds exactly right. The problem is a supply problem. Prices go up when there isn't enough supply, but there's too much demand. I mean, that is just obvious. I mean, I didn't get far in economics, but I took enough to know that that's how it works, and that's what we're seeing around the world. New York, I'm glad you raised it. You would think I wouldn't want to talk about New York. New York, City Council passed a bill, they implemented it, and a year later, it's a disaster. How hotel prices have been rising at more than 2 or 3x regular inflation. It's almost impossible to get an affordable hotel room in New York City now. There's been no increase in the availability of homes. Rents continue to rise, prices continue to rise, and Airbnb hosts, or hosts of short-term rentals, of which many were Airbnb hosts, are struggling to figure out how they're going to continue to pay their mortgage. And another result of this is that people who can no longer host on Airbnb because of these regulations are not putting those homes, making them available for long-term rent or purchase, but going to the black market, which means no tax collection for New York City or New York State, and no trust and safety regulations to ensure that bad things don't happen. So it's really been a disaster, I think,
messy.
as a probably well-intended policy. And we're hopeful. We point to that as an example of good intentions that led to unfortunate consequences. So what we have seen from third-party data again and again is that the perception that short-term rentals is driving this crisis is just off base. We are simply not big enough in any city to be the cause of this housing shortage. And most of our hosts are primary homeowners who are letting out a room or their whole home for a limited number of nights per year. So they're not taking properties off the market for the full year.
I wanted to ask you what you think of the presidential election. I'm just reading what's over your right shoulder, and I think it says, "I miss you like I miss Obama every damn day."
Yeah, that was a greeting card.
Now that's a message.
That made in Seattle that I love. And of course, I worked for President Obama, and I have very strong feelings about that. I'm not as a representative of a company, but as somebody who cares about our democracy. And I'm certainly focused on the fact that it's going to be incredibly close. And I just hope everyone understands that their vote matters and they get out and vote.
Can you be clear on who you think would be better for the company?
Especially in key states. Say that again.
Can you be clear? Are you clear as a company on who would be better for business? I mean, the burden and the joy in a way of business is you have no choice. You deal with whoever wins and whatever the politics is that flows. But, speaking as a business, can you see who'd be better or worse? Do you have a view?
Well, I think you're right, Julia, that obviously Airbnb has been around through it and survived and thrived under administrations of both parties. As a personal view, not a company view, I would say that maintaining the rule of law, maintaining democracy, limiting global economic chaos, these are all desirable goals for anybody in business. And I think that my view is that Kamala Harris is the right choice for those reasons. But again, that's a personal view, not a company view. We don't have a stated position on the election as a company.
Airbnb, it's carry on regardless because you've got no choice.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Jay?
Yeah. And I just think, Julie, it's short-sighted if you're in business or you're an entrepreneur to think that, slightly more permissive regulations, in exchange for the chaos caused by, an excessive tariff regime or just, weaponizing the Justice Department and that all of these things that and the kind of chaos that we've seen already would somehow create a positive business environment. I think is not thinking this through completely, in my view.
3 weeks to go. Not much more time to think. Jay Carney, great to have you, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.